Right, everyone. Welcome to tonight's special, Then and Now 2020 edition. We're talking to YouTube personalities about how the past 10 years has gone. The year's 2030. As we know, we've had the pandemic since 2020, and we're still remote learning and working in this virtual world. So, MBT Yu-Gi-Oh, how's the past 10 years been?
Not great, not great. I don't think anyone was really prepared for COVID-19. It got much worse when Halka gained sentience and released COVID-20, and then COVID 2021, 2022, and the rest is history. I had just sort of expected to be a Yu-Gi-Oh YouTuber for my entire life. That all changed when Yu-Gi-Oh was made the de facto religion of the United States of Halka and now I find myself making content on the part of the one-party state system. But things could always be worse. I could be relegated to the DATASCAPE mines, of course. All in all, I am very appreciative to still have a place in this virtual world.
Thanks, MBT. Huge fan.
Good afternoon, Jank enthusiasts. I'm MBT, and this is 10-Minute Testing. Whew! Thank goodness I signed that pledge to keep myself pure and refuse to read the datascapes until they were translated so I wouldn't mess up their names. I'm happy now I can finally pronounce the name of Virtual World. Oh god. Ah, dang it, they didn't localize them. Okay, well, we'll do our best with Virtual World. Before we begin, if you're on the fence about subscribing, let me sweeten the pot for you. Click that little button below the video and I promise next time one of these rolls around, I'll get to spoil some cards. So here's the list and... Never a good sign when the way to build the deck is to play 3 of everything. As always, I'll give you a background about the archetype, a little bit of a discussion about what I hope the deck can do, and of course, the card by card. But first, this video is sponsored by Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck. Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Deck is an online strategy site for our mutual favorite card game. It's got a deck builder, card database, and a wealth of strategy articles. It's also where I post the Quarantine Series deck breakdowns, so give it a look at www.ygoprodeck.com. Now let's deal with DATASCAPE. DATASCAPE is a series of level 3 and 6 monsters that all have the same effect. You can target a DATASCAPE card you control, Foolish Burial a DATASCAPE of a different super type, and then special summon that monster from your hand, activating an individual piece of upside. I'll give you a second to digest that. They're free specials that Foolish as part of their summoning condition. Unsurprisingly, they're expected to be strong, and what we've got here is a modified version of Pack's List I hope we can take for a spin. There are a few setups the deck is known for, but most of them surround the extremely interactive and very cool card Kanye VFD. Ideally, we'll pivot through level 3 and 6 synchros, chew through boards with Coral Dragon, and refill our hand with Crocodragon and Stardust Charge Warrior before ending on the silliest Xyz monster currently legal. That's not all, however. Additional extension can end on their Tribal Synchro, a macro on legs, board busters like their Tribal Rank 6, or classic Synchro dinguses like Sigma and Trish. So with that, let's get into the card by card. Firstly, the monsters. 3 Linlin, who foolishes again on summon, 3 Lao Lao, who reborns on summon, 3 Rui Rui, who searches on summon, and 3 Gigi, who scarms on summon. Finally, the red-headed stepchild of the archetype, 3 Niang Niang, which is a recurrent level 3 material that summons itself from the graveyard when another level 3 monster is summoned. After that, there's some classic rank 3 dorks, 3 Wielder, Terratop, Take a Tomborg, and Tracker. Finally, we're on 3 Nibiru. For spells, we're on 3 G-Long, 3 King-Long, 3 Desires, and E-Telly. For traps, we're on 3 Infip and 3 Zook. In the extra, we're on Sigma, Jian, Trish, Vermilion, Ravenous, Zhui, Coral, Stardust, Negalogia, Double VFD, Feng, Breaksword, Gossip Shadow, and Gia. So with that, let's jump into the games. Our first match is up against Charmers. Time to see if that structure deck poll worked out for you, Konami. They're going to lead with a copy of Masters of the Spiritual Arts. They will set a continuous spell and summon a copy of Familiar Possessed Hita. They'll special summon a copy of Gigabyte and Inari Fire before making Baguska and passing. Thrilling. We'll lead with a copy of Jinglong so we can set a copy of Zook. We'll activate Rui Rui, they will Ash, and we can still probably make this work. We'll go for a Pot of Desires, and these are fine. We'll use Gigi in order to target the Zook and set a copy of Kinglong. We'll activate Kinglong's effect in order to add 2-hand a copy of Linlin. We'll activate Linlin's effect. This is critical to most of our combo plays. We'll send the Rebornable 3 and then Reborn the Niang Yang as we special summon a tracker so we can go into Coral Dragon. Now that we have enough material in our banish zone, we can activate Zook to destroy our opponent's Baguska and get off to the races. We'll make our big ol' macro and then activate the effect of Lao Lao, special summoning itself and from graveyard a copy of Gigi so we can make a Vermilion Dragon mech and clean our opponent's board. Finally, we'll go into a Ravenous Crocodragon, draw a card, and we're just 500 damage off lethal here. I'm sure there was a way to do it that I missed. In main phase 2, we can make VFD and pass back to our opponents. They'll draw for turn, and then unsurprisingly concede. Our second match is up against Buster Blader, and God, Mount Fuji's recent finish in the Quarantine series has really struck the fear of God into my heart versus this deck. Okay, they're going to normal summon a copy of Buster Wealth of Destruction Swordsman, set 3, and pass turn. Horrifying. We've drawn a King Long, which is instrumental in doing anything. We're going to lead with a copy of Rui Rui. They're going to fire off both halves of the combo. They'll summon both a Buster Dragon, which changes all of our monsters to dragons, and a monster that negates the effects of all dragons on field. Now, thankfully, this isn't that big of a deal because most of the effects we want to resolve actually occur in hand. We're going to activate King Long, which can negate the effects of an individual monster to turn off the monster that turns our monsters into dragons so we can actually play. We'll activate the effect of Crocodragon and the effect of Vermilion Dragon Mech to pick apart our opponent's board. We'll E-Telly into a Wielder so we can activate the effect of Niang Yang in Graveyard before summoning a Psychic Tracker and going into a Coral Dragon. We'll Wielder away this copy of Linkuriboh, then activate Zook to modulate levels so we can overlay for a copy of Fang Fang. We'll activate Fang Fang's effect to banish Destruction Sword in Graveyard as well as that Buster Dragon, but it eats a Veiler. As a result, we'll have to use Crocodragon's effect in order to destroy the last remaining monster. Again, just 1700 off lethal. We'll overlay for a Negalogia and a True King of All Calamities in main phase 2 and wish our opponent good luck. We'll activate TK Calling Light, and unfortunately, our opponent does have a Red Eyes Fusion. Okay, out comes Dragoon. He'll pass back to us. For turn, we draw a copy of Infip. We'll proceed to battle phase and crash into the Dragoon so Negalogia's effect can activate. We'll activate the effect of Negalogia to wipe the board, and Destruction Sword Memories is the last card. Thankfully, we do get to wipe the entire field. We'll attack, and the Memories in Graveyard can turn into the big purple boy once again. We'll activate King Long, but we actually need 2 cards in our hand in order to pop off. They ripped the Nadir Servant off the top of the deck. Oh god, this just got so difficult. Okay, they're going to activate the effect of Ecclesia, summoning Ecclesia and using its effect for a copy of Punishment. They're going to set a Punishment and get in for 17. This is very quickly slipping out of our grasp. We draw for turn a copy of Jiji, and this might do it. We'll normal summon Jiji, that special summons back the Niang Yang. We can go to Jiju, and we can tuck these cards back so we can activate the effect of Lao Lao, targeting the Jiju to summon back the Jiji, activating Jiju to destroy the Buster Blader and make final Sigma before they figure out what's up and fire Punishment. So it's time for game 3, and you know what that means, a best of 3 versus meta. Our opponent's playing Invoked Dogmatica, and what the hell is this hand? This is every 6-star monster in our deck! We're gonna set 2 and pass. Our opponent predictably will pop off. They'll lead with a copy of Magical Meltdown, then normal summon a copy of A-Lister. They'll activate A-Lister's effect for an Invocation before making Almirage and Sagir Gardna, firing off the Invocation for a Makaba, and then following it up with a Disciples of the Nadir. Oh boy, that's just about everything I didn't want to see. They'll send a Titanclad, and they're on the Maximus stuff too. They'll activate Maximus's effect, activating Apkallone and Intis in sequence, destroying our Zook. It could be worse, and then adding a copy of Rook to hand before discarding it. Wow, when they're discarding the Rook, you know that you are probably losing the game. At end step, they'll activate the effect of Titanclad for an Ecclesia, and Ecclesia's effect to add a copy of Fleur-de-Lis to hand. What an incredible setup. For turn, we draw a Terror Top. That's really good. We're going to lead with a copy of Infinite Impermanence, and it eats a Solemn. Okay, I suppose I'll summon the Terror Top. We'll activate its effect, they'll activate Makaba, and let's go to game 2. So it's time for game 2, and again with these hands, any opener that doesn't have Jinglong or Kinglong specifically is just straight up unplayable. Okay, we'll normal summon a Jiji, special summon a Wielder, and try and draw out of it. Nope, found an Infip. Okay. Well, our opponent will start with a copy of Magical Meltdown. After that, they're going to normal summon a copy of A-Lister and activate its effect, to which we will chain an Infinite Impermanence. Unfortunately for us, our opponent is a good Invoked player. They'll activate Invocation, sending Driver as part of the cost, before activating Invocation's Graveyard effect and activating Disciple of the Nadir. They're going to send a copy of Titanclad, then special summon an Ecclesia. Wait, that's 5! We could do this! Okay, we'll activate Nibiru as they proceed to battle phase. They'll Makaba, but we have the other Infip set! Okay, down goes the board, out comes the rock. Almost anything could do this. They'll activate Titanclad, they'll get a Fleur-de-Lis to hand. Oh my god, that's perfect. We'll flip up a copy of Zook, we'll activate the effect of Linlin in hand, targeting the Zook, and oh my god, Kinglong isn't a combo starter if you don't have another card in hand! So we're back with the deck, and god, that was frustrating. And it's not particularly unexpected. It's a flashy, interesting combo deck that bricks quite frequently and folds to interaction. Let's do the pros and cons. First, the pros. 1, VFD is really strong. I mean, I shouldn't have to tell you how strong VFD is. Baguska's bigger brother is going to absolutely turn the tables on any game state, but sometimes you need a reminder. 2, their tribal monsters are amazing. The Macro Monstrosity, the Sort of Trishula rank 6, and the 6-star towers are all out of this world. And 3, Every single card is a combo starter, provided it resolves. It's kind of like Dragon Link, if Dragon Link was extremely interruptible and had a much worse payoff. And the cons. 1. It's inconsistent. I mean, this is a weird claim to make about a deck with 15 starters, but there's about 1,000 ways to mess this up. Basically, since you can't bin the same virtual world super type as you target, you need to open either the normal spell or Kinglong, or you're going to absolutely have to waste your normal summon and hope you've drawn the right sequence of virtuals. 2. It's telegraphed. A competent opponent who goes first will simply remove the monsters you're normal summoning, or save the monster negates for your double Foolish and Stratos. And 3. It's got a surprisingly low ceiling. You see combo videos where someone specials 40,000 times in one turn and you pog out, but in reality, you're VFD passing in a best case scenario almost all the time. All in all, this feels more like DDD than Dragon Link. It's worth noting that there's one additional main deck monster that could resolve this issue, but as of yet, we've got no import date for the TCG. Glory be to the TCG. So that's that. As always, thanks to my patrons Dominic Ernst, Hakuo, Alex Perea, Candyman, Chibi Gohan, Koibo275, Crispy, Dimsum05, Frosty, Innercrest, James Oakes, King Magic Ruler, Lavender Lemonade, Mike Carlotti, Rocky Hernandez, Rose Lapine, Sir Tachyon, Space Dandy 1993, Tyler Slacks, Tyrese Biggums IV, Adam Trevino, Adrian Bra, Emil Elefandi, LG Smarson Kavicius, Andrew Benson, Andrew Furuya, Andrew Horseman Linderman, Angry Bread, Apex Systems, Billy Williams, Blake Root, Black, Candide, Chad Bortz, Chess Prime, Tropes Away, CJ Alex, Cobbin, Dan the Man Hoban, Darcy Taves, Devin Dees, Dylan Conley, Dave Missile, Donnie Fillerup, Distrin, Emperor Stove, Ernesto Ibarra, Fighting Fang Wong, FUTR, Gamer Games, Gavin Charlikowski, Isaac Jackson, Jay and Ya, Jared Lorman, Jason Leonard, Jeff Leonard, Jose Luis Cortez, Julia Chulian, Corey Hess, Kurikaze, Lawrence, Lucas Geartis, Lucky Number 5, Lucas Arizo Hansen, Meadow Edits, Mezzo Emrys, Michael Oskavar, Miyuna Arashi, Nick Extreme 99, Nick Dolores, Picnic Blasted, Pro FP2, Pro Yugi Dad, Samsoon, Sapphic Ashley, Seeker, Sean Dials, Second, Shine 55, Snowman 51, Standards Objective, Swinkies, Swinks? God, I'm gonna get that right someday. This Machine 237, TJ Steakhouse, Yuri's Best, Zach Janchewski, Zach McKee, and Yukie. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing. And if you want to be part of the process, consider following me on Twitch as well. See you next time.